Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hello. How are you? Thank you for joining. Happy Monday. Gonna give a few people a moment to join me tonight on Ginger's Love Live. I missed last week, celebrated my 46th birthday. It was such a blessing to be able to celebrate another year in this world. Well, hoping I live it out, this 46, but I did make it to see 46. So thankful for that, and happy birthday to everyone that has had a birthday this month, all this 2025 and going into that's coming up. Happy birthday. Hi, Trevor. How you doing? So, yes, welcome to Ginger's Love Live. And thank you all for joining. I'm just, again, going to give a few more people to jump in before I get into the topic tonight. You're leading more than you think. Unlocking the leader within you. If you don't already know and recognize yourself to be a leader, you may just be playing yourself short. So we're going to get into that discussion tonight, because we definitely want to know our value in being a leader and why it's important for you to know that, especially in these times. We need our leaders front and center. So welcome. How are y'all doing this evening? Say hello. Say hello. How your day going on this Monday morning? Some people love a fresh start and some people hate to see a new week coming. But we'll learn to be thankful for those coming days that we get to see. So yes. And if you don't know me or you have not joined my live before, my name is Siobhan. I'm a master life coach who focus on embodying love, purpose, and personal growth. I recently expanded my coaching service to corporate consulting and leadership and career coach, because that is another layer of who we are. And it's important that we recognize that role that we play in our lives when it comes to leadership, whether it's in your life, your personal life, your relationships, and as well as in your professional role. Like really understanding the value of what you bring to any situation when you are grounded in who you are. Hello. And I know my comments be short. Hi, Shauna. How you doing? I know they be slow to come in, so go ahead and comment. I love the engagement and the feedback. It just makes it all the more richer. So do not be shy. Please engage and share your insights on the topic as well, or your experience, because this is what this space is about, is sharing that space and those experiences that help us grow and embody love and move in our personal growth, actually move and make a difference and fulfill our purpose in life. And that's what unlocking the leader within you is all about. So thank you all for joining. Hi, Ebony. Like I said, no comments are coming in. I don't know if you all are speaking or, saying anything just yet, but go ahead and comment. I will see them eventually and I will respond. I'll give me some intro music to come on to. I've been thinking, I don't know a good, y'all gonna have to help me out on a good intro song for our conversations. So yes, being a leader, let's see what time is 7:05. And just in my introduction post, just talking about you not needing a title to be a leader, but just recognize what leadership truly looks like in your life and look like to others, and why it's important for you to lead and be really your authentic self, be who you are. One of the things, well, not the last live, but another live, one thing that stuck to me that I have thought about, it kind of stayed with me, is being in roles that you are leading, you are valuable, but not feeling fulfilled, or just feeling like you going in for a paycheck. And so we want to look into that as well, because it's important about being fulfilled. And I started out in my journey just wanting to be fulfilled in a relationship, as far as wanting to get the love that I felt I needed and I wanted, and the love that I put into a relationship. So not being fulfilled in that put me on a self-discovery journey, and it led me down a path that I did not see coming, but I embraced it. I realized that it is a path that it was always aligned for me. And it comes into perspective when you say, God, you can make plans, and you may not know the plans that God has for you, but if you follow, when you tap into that journey, that spiritual journey, you will begin to see that revealed to you, your very being revealed to you, and searching for who you are and what your purpose is in this life, because we get stuck in identifying our purpose. So again, we always want to embody here on Ginger's Love the essence of love, the essence of who you are, and growing in that strength. So one of the points that we will cover tonight is leadership is not just a title, it's how you show up in your everyday life. And so how are you showing up in your everyday life when it comes to just personal leadership that really puts you on a path of how you will navigate through life? Hi, Stacy. So we're going to start with that question. Now, let's get our wheels turning on what that looks like when you're leading in life, and not just at work. Like, this is to open up the conversation, put into perspective that what does leadership look like in your everyday life, and how are you leading in that? So my first question is, how do you show up every day? Just being authentic and true to who you are. That's just something to ponder on. If you don't, or if you haven't asked yourself that question, if there's something that you haven't reflected on, that is something to reflect on. Because one thing, me showing up is just with my heart on my sleeve. You heard the saying, you wear your heart on your sleeve, or you just freely love. You have a free spirited love. So that was one thing how I learned to see how I was leading my life. Now, knowing that and not knowing what that means, and not knowing how to set boundaries, I went down a road of discovery. That was a very defining moment in my life, or moments in my life. Many seasons I went through that, just leading with my heart, leading with what I felt was good, what I felt was right, and just being who I genuinely was. Now, with that, it did bring me a lot of lessons. That's what I look at. I look at it as a lot of lessons, whether it was a blessing, whether it was pain, whether it was suffering. It was a blessing to my personal growth. And so that's just one way, just identifying and embracing who you are, and accepting, who you are when you are showing up truly your true self. So what does that look like? Because we have different hats, and that's just like the most important thing for you to be aligned with is who are you genuinely and authentically. Hello. Thank you all for joining. because it's gonna not only show up in your everyday life, it's gonna show up in your professional lives. It's who you are. And that's another thing along my journey that I began to identify just how I was as a person. It showed up in my role and how I, did my work as well. Even from my strengths to my weaknesses, it was a reflection of who I was. And how do you show up at work? We take pride in the work that we do. So how are we showing up at work as well? So just thinking about that and putting in perspective how, and maybe have you ever seen anyone just in your everyday life, whether it's in work or, amongst your friends or acquaintance, anyone that you see leading that may not identify themselves as leader, but you see them leading in a way that is influential. It's a way that you admire in someone on how they are handling their life. So just want to put those questions out there and have a conversation on that and your awareness of that around you every day, within yourself and within others. Or if it's something you don't think about. That could be a possibility. It could be something that you don't think about. But it's always been something in me to, before I even was defining it, but it's something that I seek, what it is that is going to be fulfilling to me. I had an idea, but I didn't know how to bring it in full circle. I didn't know how to. So that was another journey. That's another layer of what we go through. And I don't see any comments yet. Let me see. Are you all commenting or saying anything? One moment. Let me see. Excuse me. And preparing for this, y'all, I had a really, I don't know, it was just something, if you all can relate, it was like a spiritual cleansing. It's like the spirit was on me and I just had a flood of tears, guys. And I was like, Lord, I hope when I'm on this live tonight that I don't do this, because, the tears were flowing. And I know it was none but the spirit moving in me as I was reflecting and just what it meant to me to understand, even when there's no title. And just like the feedback that you get back from, people that you help in your everyday life, that you don't even realize it, but it's just you being your genuine self. And that's why I value genuine connections, genuine friendships, anything that just naturally comes together because of the goodness of who you are as an individual, and you can connect with people. Like, I value that so much because it's spiritual. It's spiritual for me when you can meet and genuinely grow and connect, number one, with someone, and then grow, just, who you are. And it really no pressure, because you're in a space to like just genuinely be yourself. And then that works, the no expectations. It works when you're able to genuinely be yourself, because when you are, that's the best version of someone, is being yourself. And especially if you're a person that is conscious and you are seeking to be better, and just experiencing life with sometimes no direction, no guidance, or even the direction and guidance you get may be questionable or something that don't sit well within you. And so you have to learn through experiences by following yourself, your true self. And so it's been really it's just been a touching. I don't know. I say, God, thank you, for everything in those moments. I just thank God for, everything, the revelations, the uplifting in the spirit, the understanding, the heart to love and connect with people and to teach what I've gone through that helped me tremendously through a lot of the things that how I connect with people to get through. And it touches me. It touches me, especially in a transition that I am in, now and been in, and just being like reflecting on that. And like I said, it was heavy on me because spiritually, that's where my foundation, my strength comes in my roots in my spirituality and my connection and relationship with God. And so, like I said, without a title, before I even reach a title or a position of leadership, God showed me how me being myself was a reflection of Him, and it's a reflection of influence. It's a reflection of the love that I carry in my heart, and it's through the love that God has in me, that lives through me, that I am able to express it in the way that I do. So, how do you all identify with that? Like, if you're able to, hey, Hollis and Cousin Nita, hello. Thank you all for joining. So just take that moment, because I always want people to know how valuable they are, no matter how the world or society may make you feel. But when you are really in touch with your true self and being true to who you are, it is fulfilling. And especially when you can see it and accept it. And you lead in that way just by being yourself. Just by being yourself, and just think about the things that people love about you, or when they come to you. And I know in our own personal leadership, whether you're a mom or how you show up as a mother, or a father, if you're a father, how do you, being yourself, being, your true authentic self, how you're showing up as a sibling, as a parent or daughter, just those relationships that defines like who you are, or where you get to express your true self and not be judged, or, just be loved for who you are. Like, that's like the best gift that you can have in the world that we live in, and the different layers that we have, and the dynamics that we have to navigate, and still try to be true to who we are. That's our sanity. It's the sanity of who we are. So seeing yourself and seeing your work, especially when you do go to work, and it's great when you have someone to recognize, the value in who you are, no matter what the relationship is or what the situation is. It feels good, but it feels even better. Like, some people may not be in a place to give you the feedback that you need, or it's just not what they care about, or whatever the case may be. But it never should take away from who you know that you are and the value that you bring to the table. That's one thing that we talked on in the last live, is just knowing the value or what you bring to the table, and knowing that it's something. So when you are at work, you're seeing that what you're doing is purpose driven. It's purpose driven because it's true to you. And it has nothing to do with no one else. And the paycheck is a plus. But being able to be true to you and whatever you do, and not like have to have no barriers or, anything like that. You have the boundaries, but you still get to be free and, who you are. So that's just one thing. And I don't see any comments yet. And I tried to go. Okay, I see some. Now, hey, classmate, I'm about crazy. I'm listening now in my head, like you can see. Well, good. And my cousin, and greetings, Miss Coburn. Yes, yes, indeed. I see that you here. So I see a few comments, but I don't see any responses, to the questions that I ask, or just a reflection of what you have experienced, or, what is something that someone has come to you, or something comes easy for you that you actually help someone, and it's uplifting, or it helps them to see something, different, or just how you lead your life. Sometimes when people have some insight on your life, or they even the surface level how you're dealing with things, and people are looking, that can be inspiring as well. Just how you move and how you handle yourself. If you keep a positive mind, or you keeping yourself together, your home, if you have an immediate family, your household, and how you are navigating that. That is also is a sign of leadership. And it is something that people can look on to and just see, again, just being yourself and being positive. Or anytime they see you, they may see a smile on your face, or they may think ain't nothing bothering you, or anything, because how you're able to overcome it and remain resilient, and persevere, and just press forward no matter what you're going through. And that is inspiring to people. And it's a blessing to be around you when this is the energy that you're putting out, or this is the positivity, this is the hope, that you are putting out. So, yes, let's see. I have to look on my other device just to see if see the comments. So yeah, I would like to see, what your experience, and just a life of a leadership, and what it means. What does it mean? And we can define it. But you define it in how you show up for yourself. And showing up for yourself is the most important thing, and the best example that you can give, or be a demonstration that you can show someone. Let me go to dictionary. Go leader, not leadership. So just think about that for a minute. And if you care to share. This is a leader in dictionary: the person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. The principal player in a music group. A leading article or editorial in a newspaper. That's British English. Better up. Just a little more elaborate than dictionary. A leader is someone who inspires, guides, and supports their team to achieve a shared vision. That's a little more elaborate, and in alignment with what leadership actually looks like. And then it's also like guiding yourself. We get that free will. We get that freedom of choice to make choices about our life, about what we want to experience, who we want to experience in our lives. So that is one thing. So when you are in the professional world, that's personal. That is and those are the levels of coaching that I focus on. Just your personal. What are you like? You whole, the whole person. Like, where are you at mentally and emotionally about who you are? Are you clear about who you are in your life, no matter what nobody else think about what you done been through, what has happened to you, anything, but just you centered and focused about who you are. That's personal. It's very personal. And then that person, meets the professional world. Sometimes we're not even ready. We can be a broken mess getting into the work field, but we know how to go in and do what we got to do to survive. So we're working, and we have to be professional because, life is a little different than in the workplace. In the workplace, there are rules, there are disciplinary actions. It's things that are happen that right then, if you're not acting in a professional manner, if you're not meeting the expectations. So, that kind of give you the incentive or motivation, whether you are broken and may finna go home and have a fight or whatever the case may be, or you finna, go home and have to clean up, cook, clean, all of that, whatever, in your life, you have to go in and you be a certain way. And that has been a question about, how you can control yourself in the workplace, but you don't have no discipline or control at home because it's a different type of consequence at home versus at work. So we are motivated to, do what we have to do to make ends meet. So it's kind of laid out for you, and your influence is just in a role. So you taking accountability for that role that you're doing, and you're going to follow those guidelines, or you know what's going to happen. So it's a little more discipline within ourselves when it comes to the workplace. But if you anyone like me that you value again what you bring to the table, you have a heart and you have a mind to, show up the best you that you can be, or do the best, put your best effort forward, and you do that. And so you're at work, and one of the questions also that I had mentioned in this introduction is being undervalued, underutilized, or overlooked, or that feeling of rejection, whether it's, again, if it's in a relationship or it's in your family or work. Even work, there is always some level of rejection that we face. And so it could be you wanting to move up. You're wanting a more fulfilled position or more responsibilities because you're either grown or you're just curious and you want to elevate. It's natural in us to want to improve, especially once you have mastered something or challenge. You want to be more challenged. So you may look and you may not get the support or the help or guidance that you need. So if you don't have that and you need it, that can kind of, put you in a place of stagnation, or, where you'll just continue to get in the role of the pattern of just going through the motions, as opposed to really growing as you grow with experience. And so even in that being, and one thing that I would get back from my team of people that I work with, that I've always pushed myself and for others to do what is in them to do, that I know, because I know who we are created by. And so I believe in that so much. My faith is so strong in that. So it was only natural for me to want to align with who God is in me and what I'm made of and what I can do. And that take a lot of work coming from environment that you come from sometimes. And so if that is the case, then you really, again, have to be conscious about who you are and be engaged in what you want to experience, or where the spirit is leading you. Where is the spirit leading you in your journey? And it sometimes don't have nothing to do with nobody else but you, and you being in tune with who you are and being obedient to the spirit that is leading you to these opportunities, to these experiences, where you do have an opportunity to grow beyond what is before you, but what's in you. That is so amazing. I think that's why I would get so emotional when I think about it. Um, One moment. Let me get myself together. Cause this has been today, just thinking like and reflecting. One moment, y'all. 'Cause okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry. I just get emotional, sometimes just thinking about, the growth and just how God shows up and filling a gap with what be missing in your life, and you still grow and you still rise. Babe, and you still rise, and you still overcome, and you still be who God created you to be. So one of the things also that I had mentioned was recently I came up here because you see materials on here. I do this sometimes. Anybody know me know. Y'all just haven't saw me do it on live. But it's a good thing. It is nothing like bad. It's like really the spirit is moving in me and has been moving. And I love it. And I and I thank God, and in those times I just thank God for the experience, and then for God using me. Me, and how love started out with me, how blinded I was, and how it changed me, and just the source of it. It really touches me. Let me get back. So again, you definitely don't need permission to become who God has already created you to be. So it's just like getting in alignment with that. And it's been a journey, but it's been a fulfilling journey. And I'm just, like I say, I'm thankful to be used. And it's been a long time coming to be fully aligned with who I am personally, seeing myself professionally, and then seeing me as the leader that God has created me, and not even knowing it. And I think that's what's so moving, because you don't even know it. You don't know it until you actually have went through it. You get the feedback, and it is so fulfilling, and it is not in a sign of rewards or the accolades or anything like that. It's just the influence that you have on people, and the way that you have been able to change people situations or their mindset to where things work out for them, and they're able and that's what I've always just wanted to do: help people. I want to help myself, number one, and then I want to help alleviate any like pain and suffering that people go through because of someone else. And when we have God that is greater than all things, and we believe in God, and we put our faith, and we thank God for all that He does, and then we be broken in situations that God has equipped us to overcome. And it just be so, I can get really overwhelmed in just what I've gone through, and to arrive here at a place to where I have a voice, and it's strong, and I'm passionate about it, and I put my work into doing that. That is what my work look like, and then be able to bring it back, to the people, hoping, with that hope that, love truly do change who we are, because we are powerful in that, and we live it every day, even when the people that don't see it. But when you see it, and the people that do benefit from you being your true self, and they trust that, and they can feel it. They trust it because they can feel it because you are being true. That is God. That is God. And so that's why, you have to, start there. And that's how, one of those first commandments is loving God, like learning. And you do that through learning who you are. And you trying to, because of the pain, and God will turn that pain into purpose. And it's just what you choose. You choosing to do that. And so I work really hard to be able to articulate that. And so when I say I'm being a teacher of God's love, I have to teach it from how God love transformed my life. And from those stages where, from relationships, from, making a living for myself, from me building a legacy, not a financial legacy, but a legacy for my family and for, the people that will hear me, and especially my family, to know, that it's in you. It is in you, and what you make of it and how you use those opportunities to better your situation and learn to love, unconditionally. Because when you put too much faith in someone like you that is just as troubled and traumatized from the world that we live in, it becomes painful, and you really do need a solid foundation of truth of who you are, and how you've been created to be. And it wasn't to be what we experience and what we have experienced mentally, emotionally, and physically, because a lot of that stuff, it all is interconnected. And so excuse me one more time. Okay, I'm back. Okay, thank you all. Just want my waterworks get to going, everything get to run. So I had to get that. Don't do that. I had to get that together. And I tried like before, because I had this one before when I'm just, thinking and just preparing, get my thoughts ready. And I was like, Lord, do not do this with me tonight. But it happened anyway. And this all good. Y'all do not think Reese sitting up here looking at me like I'm crazy. He already know how I am, so I don't even know why he's doing that. He probably just don't like me being, crying. He don't like to see me cry, period, anyway. But it's not a bad cry, I promise. Okay? It's just like I said, it's the spirit. I am full of emotion, and I'm very passionate about the work that I do, and I'm very passionate about being able to deliver my experience with God to my people, and in a way that is practical, in a way that relates to us in real life, and what we need to navigate and be the leaders that God created us to be, who he need us to be, especially if it's on you, if it's a calling on you, and you are this person in your family lives, your friends' lives, even your work lives, and it does not have to do with anything recognizing or a title or anything like that. It's just truly who you are. So no matter how someone treats you, who overlook you, who rejects you, it does not take away who God is in you. It makes you, it's your power. It's what you stand in. It's your truth, and it's how you lead, and it's how you open the doors, and you heal, and you are at peace with yourself when you align with the Spirit of God within you, and you being yourself, being able to be yourself, and learning that on your own way, your own path, and hopeful and I'm prayerful and hopeful that you have leaders that you do look to that are truly connected to the true spirit in God, that they're able, that God, the spirit is able to be used through you. And it's gonna be in a way that is you, that is authentic to you, or otherwise you're not gonna be able to do it. Because it's gonna be that you're that figuring out and that wanting to get in alignment with who you truly are. So it has to be that way. And it's very sacred, it's very personal. So that is the foundation of who you are. And then, like I say, you're aligning with the truth about that and what it looks like. And it has nothing to do with nobody else, honestly, whether they can see it or not. But it has everything to do with how you align with the Spirit of God within you. If you are connected, if you do know and believe. Because like I said, I know some people don't, but whether they do or not, if we are representing, who we are to that, you are an influence. You are a leader. They don't have to see it if they can see it through you. And this is your testimony. This is who you give glory to, because you know what God has brought you through. You know what the spirit, what that divine knowledge, that divine understanding, that divine peace, where it comes from. Because it most times didn't come from somebody. It came from that inner knowing, that inner spirit, and that's something that's God given, it's spirit led. And it's so much power in that. And so that's something, I manifest like, this is the best way. How can I be, like I said, it's not the religious way, it's not the traditional way, or it's the true way of the experience of me wanting to teach people how God loves look in your life, and how it shows up and everything good about you and what you do. And I was sitting down with my sissy Ulea last night, and she was, telling me, and we got on a conversation, and she was just expressing herself, and it was touching. And it was just confirmation of what I experienced. And like I said, every opportunity I get, if I'm around somebody, I tell them, what I admire about them, what I like that I see them doing, because, I'm learning. In some roles, I haven't made it to that role yet, but I see it as an example, and I see it as a way of being. So you always get that example of, I ain't gonna do it that way versus I'm gonna do it, that way. I like the way that's done. So you are a leader in your own right. When you are leading and you are being an example, or you being a support or a resource or something to someone, just out the goodness of your heart, just cause it's who you are. And so never, let someone or a circumstance make you feel like you're not enough or you're not valuable, when just your being and what God has given you, it shows up in your life. It shows up with how you do life. And I'm going to take a moment to check the comments and see if there's any. And y'all, I'm so sorry again about the waterworks. Oh, Lordy. Just a moment. Since it broke down, you be running me up with this mess. My sister, she did it on my birthday. She had a very, touching, heartfelt post. Like I say, I don't, any opportunity that I get, and I see if I can help somebody anyway. Like I say, if you don't want to be uplifted, don't come talk to me. If you down and you just want to, live in misery, like, I'm not the one to talk to. I am not. Let me see. But yeah, that is what mean to me. And even like at work, sometimes like the work, if you're a leader and you're your own boss, and your leadership team trusts you to lead, they know you're gonna get the job done. Sometimes they don't really get to see or witness the impact that you have on the people that you work with directly. So the trainees feedback that I would get, or the people that I actually work with, I would seek their feedback just to see, because I'm always looking for opportunity to grow as well. So even the good, the bad, and even the good, just to let me know what I'm doing right, what to keep doing, what to keep, working on or improving, and the things that I need to improve on. Like I take that back, I take it seriously, because again, it's about who I show up as, like who I show up as in those roles in my life, and doing it to the best of my ability, to my full attention. And what I fall short on, that's something I have to work on. And I will work on it, because I want to get in alignment with the goodness of God that's in me, the goodness of the people that I work with, that works together for our good. So just learning all of those things in your life, and it's just who I was, and I didn't want to change who I was. I wanted to learn who I was, and I wanted to become the best version of that. And that was because of the God in me. And I always give it that, because it's easy, it is a comfort, and especially it's a comfort in not having to deal with people, where you do become isolated, because you don't want to be wrestling and dealing with people. And because at the end of the day, we know it comes down to an individual and what they choose to do. But if you're in a position to influence someone, that's, different. And then when God has put a calling on your life to, just be out there and be that for whoever needs it, then that's to a whole nother level. So it's a tall order. And then when you're serious about, rising to that and getting in alignment, it is work, and it is a blessing to have people around you, again, that I say is genuine. You get to be yourself. You get to be loved unconditionally through your ups and downs, through your flaws and all. And that love is still there, that genuine love, because of the love God has in us. I know that's the only way that we're able to love unconditionally, regardless of what someone else does or don't. You're still, able to love because of who God is in you. Hey, cousin Johnny, sis Pansy, Hollis. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining me tonight on this conversation. You leading more than you think. Just being yourself. Being the best you can be, doing what God has put on your heart to do, or share what God has, where you have learned something, or you have came through something, and just being there for someone else. It's all divine purpose. It's all a role that you have been given just in your own life. Just in your own life. So when you're reflecting, on the influence, think about that. Have you ever spoken life into someone? Those good best friends that you have, what that means to have a best friend. What Leah is saying there, it's been there, because you go through so much. You go through different relationships, marriage, like I say, family issues, work issues, life, self issues. You go through so much. And so to have someone true to you that you can go through that with is priceless. It's priceless. And it is a true blessing. It's a true blessing, because it comes from a person being themselves, being them true selves. So it is absolutely, great. And so just a moment. I probably don't need to do a moment of gratitude. Because I'm in this mode again. But One moment. Okay. Just just a moment of gratitude again. Thank everyone for your birthday wishes. On my birthday, it was, always great to see people to take a moment to wish you a happy birthday. Thankful for my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, my immediate family. Um, that's like the core. My friends, my man, that has been, his birthday is tomorrow. His birthday is tomorrow. And you talking about a strong force in my life that has took me to another level of growth, and especially in this thing called love. And understanding and accepting people, like that's a whole nother level, a whole nother conversation. But thankful for you all that joined the live, and a lot of just family and friends, or people I don't work with. Thank you all, that believe in me, that love me just for me. And life is so short, and it's very precious. You lose people every day, people that you're close to. Um, I miss my cousin Dottie because he will always, like I say, give me my flowers. I wanted to work with him more than I got a chance to. Um, and I'm just thankful for the people that love me and help me to become the woman that I am today. Like, I really have good friends. As I have a good support system, I have a great family, and I'm real thankful for my journey. I'm gonna say that I'm thankful for my journey. I'm thankful for the people in it, the experiences, good, bad, and different. I'm thankful for that. And I'm always, even before, like I said, I really understood it. And I'll be out, me and my friends will be out having a good time. And I'll just, after blue, and be like, y'all, I love you. I'd be like, oh Lord, here you go. But I always take a moment to tell the people, that I love, and that means something to me. Just, I don't need nothing but you to be yourself. And if you a genuine person, and I have gotten to experience this is and I've gotten to experience the goodness of your essence. It's a blessing to me. I love, the realness. You don't even have to be, but you're a real person. I'm gonna love that. I'm gonna admire the realness in, anyone. And I just want us to keep being who God has called us to be, who we are created to be, no matter how it looks. Like I say, it can be your role as just as a friend, as a parent, a sibling, just, or being yourself. Like, that is going to help someone. And don't never let no one make you feel like you are less than because you may not meet what they need and that they probably need to fulfill themselves. But just know that this is what God needs in us, because we have the greatest source within us to overcome these things in life that derails us or make us feel like we're less than. And we are tested in that. We're tested in those things that is sent to break us or discourage us or to make us. That's nothing, like I say, it's a trick of the enemy because the devil come to steal, kill, and destroy the creation of what God has created in you, the gifts that he has created in you. Like, it is transformational. And it is for you to show up in this world like that. So if you a leader and you know you have been this in some shape, form, or fashion, regardless if it's a title or not, put leader in the chat that you are a leader. If you have been in there, you feel me, you feel where I'm coming from, and it can be overwhelming sometimes, and not like I say overwhelming but you can be full. You can be a fool, and that's what I am. I am full. Oh Lord. Okay. But yeah, I'm full. I really am. And you know, it is what it is, and I just want to thank y'all for bearing with me. For bearing with me tonight. And don't these are filled spirit filled tears. I promise you. It's just that fullness and that gratefulness and that thankfulness and of being used in a way that I'm being used, and just being in alignment with it, and not even knowing what to come, what will come, just being in the presence, being in the moment. And I said, don't let anyone downplay the importance of your being your true self, and the things that may take away from that. Let's kick that. Let's get away from that. Let's not let anyone change the goodness of who we are. Let's not let a situation change the goodness in who we are. That is a big disservice. It's a big service to our true selves, our true being. Let me see. No. It said no new comments. I don't know. Let me try to refresh. Let's see. So we just want to, let's stay in that truth. I'm always wanting us to do that, and no matter what you've been through or what it has taken or what it will take to get you to where you need to be, just look at it as it was necessary. It was necessary for your growth. It was necessary. The tests are necessary. It's very necessary. But thank you all, and keep doing like I already see. I see it, and I be happy to see the good that come from us no matter what. Okay. Better not bitter. So she said we done cried together tonight. Oh, I'm glad you called me too. And I'm sorry, y'all. I probably don't need to read the comments as touched as I am tonight. Oh. But as you can see, through the tears, it will be laughter. It will be smiles, because that's just what it is. It's all of me. It's all of you, So, yes, Lord. Thankful, thankful. I'm glad my makeup is waterproof. Woo! And if I do so, like I say, a lot of it, um, with me expanding and especially expanding, professionally, it's kind of different me when it comes to professional. Not so much because still the heart of me, the core of me is what it is, but it is a different way, that I carry myself, professional. And one thing, like from here, this is my biggest thing that I'm doing, just as far as you getting the essence of who I am, what I care about. And like the people that I work with, they know that side, of me. But this is like coming together in full alignment and being able to, create a space for that growth, because I know in our roles, I know a lot of people within my circle that I know are in leadership roles, and that says a lot about who you are. And I'm pretty sure it looks the same in your roles in your life, or the people you're responsible for, or the people that depend on you, that you are leading in that way too. So continue to do that and know that it's very powerful. Know that it's very powerful. And it's very much needed. It is what God is calling for us. And if you need any help, I'm here. My discovery call, that is free, just us to be one-on-one. It's personalized, it's tailored, because everyone is different. But I know we are in a level of, rather just getting grounded and confident in who we are, or just navigating if you're in a job where you don't feel fulfilled, or if you feel like you need to be the one to move because you're not getting the support that you need. So you have to, do that work in yourself to get in alignment with what that looks like, and what doors that open up for you, whether it's moving up in the company or if it's starting your own entrepreneur journey. Those are levels that we come in when it comes to who we are and what we're going to do and contribute to the world. What it's going to take for us to contribute wholeheartedly as a whole person, a whole being, with just who you are. So I meet you where you are. And like I say, there's just a space for that. It's a space for us to live in that, own it, because it's God-given, it's spirit-led, and it's what we need in the world. It's how we can make the difference that is needed. And whether we can't reach all, but if it's enough of us, living in that truth and being ourselves and making a difference in the lives that we touch or the lives that we will, then that is all we can do. And this is my journey. This is my fight till I'm out of here. Until you won't see me anymore. This is, my fight is continue to get in alignment, stay in alignment, and continue to grow and continue to give back, and just continue to love. Love unconditionally, love regardless of whatever, because it's who I am and it's who God is in me. Because together, you know what? You are love. I am love. God is love. And together we can change the world with love. So on that note, thank you all so much for tuning in to Ginger's Love. This is my time. I will be back next Monday. Baby, happy birthday early out here. Tomorrow is Reese's birthday. Our birthdays is a week apart, so we'll be celebrating that. And you all have a good night. I love you all. Thank you for joining Ginger's Love.